Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright guys, some bombshells have actually officially been dropped over the past couple of hours, I should say. Organic Dinosaur recently tweeted out the title of episode 214. The title of episode 214 is going to be A Predestined Fate. Now, if you guys aren't necessarily too familiar with that episode title, it's going to directly mirror the chapter title of chapter 47. And in that specific chapter right there, Isshiki Otsutsuki was actually resurrected. Yes, we are going to get the full-fledged anime debut of Isshiki Otsutsuki in episode 214. This right here was so surprising. Well, the whole thing, it wasn't necessarily so surprising in regards to this specific episode being announced. The pacing of the Boruto anime has been absolutely surprising. When we seen Isshiki Otsutsuki the first time in chapter 47, which was essentially just a little bit over a year ago, no one really thought that in 15 months we're going to actually get to see Isshiki Otsutsuki in the actual anime. For example, when Boruto first got the Karma Seal, it was about 3 years until we actually got to see that in the Boruto anime. So it's just absolutely surprising, absolutely insane. And now we finally get to see exactly what Isshiki Otsutsuki is made of, and I really just can't wait till the anime only get an idea of how good Isshiki Otsutsuki is. I recently made a video talking about him versus Hagoromo Otsutsuki, and I definitely believe the anime is going to portray Isshiki Otsutsuki a lot better, because just like a lot of the very big fights that we have seen in the Boruto manga, the anime does it completely differently. The anime does it a lot better, and of course I can't necessarily expect anything less from Isshiki Otsutsuki as well. And I know this right here is kind of getting a little bit repetitive, but every time when I talk about something like this, I talked about this when I announced the introduction of Borushiki, I talked about this when I did announce the next big fight around episode 213 and episode 214, and now I'm going to talk about it right now. The pacing of the Boruto anime, as I said earlier, has been absolutely insane. Do you guys like it or do you guys not? In my personal opinion of reading the Boruto comment section, a lot of you guys actually do like this pacing, and the reason why a lot of you guys like this pacing is because there is a lot of action around the corner. And not only that, it's kind of like a, I wouldn't necessarily say unwritten rule, but it's kind of like a feeling of when the Boruto anime catches up to the Boruto manga, there's probably going to inevitably be a time skip, and a lot of people really want to get to that time skip. But before I get off on a tangent, I do want to talk about some more spoilers that was actually leaked by Organic Dinosaur. This right here is actually about episode 212. I kind of already told you guys exactly what's going to happen in this episode in regards to like the next big fight or whatever, but I do want to talk about exactly the synopsis or the paragraph that Organic Dinosaur did actually translate around this actual episode. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this right here in regards to the Boruto manga was probably one of my favorite chapters, mainly because it flipped the whole entire series of Boruto completely upside down. Now specifically, this is going to be about episode 212. The title is going to be Amado's defection, but into the actual paragraph it says, as one of the main members of Kata, Amado manages their engineering research and development division on his own. However, Amado has taken Shikidai as a hostage and has come to the Konoha village to seek asylum. As collateral for being a refugee, Amado agrees to provide some intel that he knows about Kata, since Amado is an enemy who can't be trusted, and because Shikidai's life is at stake, the Hokage personally negotiates and comes to an agreement with him. Meanwhile, at Kata hideout, Kashin Koji and Jigen are facing off with one another. They're both ruminating over things and trying to figure out each other's real intentions. Alright, so this right here, as I said, changed the whole series of Boruto completely upside down to the point where I didn't even want to put this right here into the actual title of this video right here. So a couple of things that we do have to talk about. It didn't necessarily completely explain the Amado situation, the Amado and Kashin Koji situation, and because they did give fairly a bit of spoilers in this paragraph right here, I could kind of fill in a little bit of the blanks. So first things first, Amado, even though they did talk about what he did with the Kata organization, he's actually leaving the Kata organization and wants to join the Hidden Leaf Village. And because he wants to join the Hidden Leaf Village, he understands that he had to do a couple of things. The first thing being is that he had to take Shikidai as hostage. Essentially, he understood that if he didn't necessarily take Shikidai as hostage, they wouldn't necessarily hear Amado out, because he's like a sworn enemy of the Hidden Leaf Village, and obviously they'd probably have Amado underground in shackles, chained up or something like that, if he didn't do something like that. So regardless, Amado is now leaving the Kata organization and now joining the Hidden Leaf Village. But the big part is going to be Kashin Koji versus Jigen. Now, I didn't necessarily want to completely talk about this when I first announced that the next big fight of the Boruto anime is going to be happening in a couple episodes, because Kashin Koji turning against Jigen in itself is a very huge spoiler. Now, we've already seen how strong Jigen is, and we already know exactly how good Kashin Koji is, because as of right now, no one really could actually rival him. We've seen him fight against Konohama, we've seen him size up against Team 7. It looked like a complete body bag. It couldn't do anything against Kashin Koji. So it's going to be very interesting to see exactly how well Kashin Koji does against Jigen, especially knowing that Jigen pretty much sold Naruto and Sasuke. Another big thing that we do have to look forward to, manga readers, we already know this, but anime readers, the big thing that you guys have to look forward to is how good is Jigen as of right now. As we know, Jigen is still on like the progressive state of actually becoming 100% whole in regards to actual chakra and actual health. Naruto and Sasuke, even though they did get completely destroyed, they did take a toll on Jigen, and that right there is going to be very interesting to look forward to when this actually does come out. And of course, I know I speak for everybody when I say that this right here is going to be a very exciting time for the Boruto anime. One thing that I'm definitely looking out for is, of course, who is going to be animating and who's going to be behind the staff of these episodes right here, because unlike the past couple of episodes in regards to the big fights, all of the next upcoming episodes, when we talk about episode 212, 213, 214, all of them are probably going to be needing absolute elite animation made because there's going to be fighting in all of those episodes. Now, obviously, some episodes are going to have more fighting than the other episodes, but we understand fighting is still going to be in a lot of these episodes, and seeing exactly how the Boruto anime handles something like that is going to be interesting for the fan perspective, because obviously we know from the Boruto perspective, from the Boruto staff perspective, they want all of these episodes to be absolutely fire, because these right here, I wouldn't necessarily say these are like pillar episodes or pillar foundational episodes of the Boruto series, but they're damn near close. We understand in the future in the Boruto manga there's going to be bigger fights down the line, but this right here is damn near as big as it gets in regards to what is actually to come in the Boruto series. Another interesting point that I do want to point out, the Boruto anime is leaving a lot of room for there to be possibly anime only things, because if you guys don't necessarily recall, back in episode 207, even before that, episode 206, episode 205, those episodes were adapting essentially like 1 to 2 whole chapters. What I'm kind of seeing right here is that they're only adapting 1 chapter per episode, and I talked about this similar in episode 208, even though I didn't necessarily expect them to adapt multiple chapters in that episode. Because it's going to be only 1 chapter, it leaves a lot of room for anime only things, and I do want to see exactly what they add in. Now, obviously, when it comes to the Boruto manga, we've basically been saying this for a very long time, they don't necessarily fill in a lot of the blanks. The anime definitely has the opportunity to do a lot of that, and we already see that from right now in episode 210. They're going to Boro's hideout. We see Delta in the preview. I'm pretty sure we're going to see more Kata members in that specific episode right there. The backstory from that and the dialogue from that might actually trickle over into some of these episodes in episode 212, episode 213, and so forth, when we do actually get to see the absolutely huge fights. But I do want you guys to think about this in the comment section below. And again, of course, the biggest question that I always ask when I do one of these, how do you guys feel about the Boruto pacing? Do you guys like it? Do you guys dislike it? It's me, your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.